Just finished Chelsea 3, West Ham 0. We set up for a point with that starting 11 and we got given a lesson. It was an unnecessary risk from David Moyes. I don't understand what that starting team. I don't know why he's decided to try and go for a point when, given where we are in the league, the good start we've had, the confidence that we're in, the fact that Chelsea's come into this in indifferent form. They haven't beaten a team in the top half of the Premier League this season until tonight. I just felt like we're there for the taking. We've gone with a slightly, I don't know how you would describe it, cautious team. Now, Mark Noble starting, you would assume that we're going to play three in the centre of the pitch. And we didn't do that, though. Mark Noble just directly replaced Benrahma. We took Benrahma out of the number 10 position, put Mark Noble into it. It didn't really work at all. I felt he dropped a little bit deeper halfway through the second half. Mark Noble, he went back a bit and he started getting more involved in the game. But it just seemed a little bit pointless. We put him in there, I assume, to win the midfield battle. We weren't winning the midfield battle. We had 16% possession. We put another man in that team to retain the ball, to recycle the ball. And we had 16% possession after about half an hour. So clearly it wasn't working. And not only was it working, 16%. It's nothing, is it? I don't know if he barely touched the ball in the first half hour, Noble. But he just slowed us down. It's not his fault. I'm not blaming Noble per se. But the decision to start him was just a bit frustrating, really. I think tonight we had nothing to lose. We were going into this. Chelsea were the favourites. Chelsea are under pressure. There's just no pressure on us whatsoever. And we've approached it like we're in a relegation battle with 5 games to go of the season or something. It's just a bit disappointing, that's all. Saying that, I thought in the first half, we went in a goal down, but I didn't think we were out of the match. I don't feel that Chelsea dominated us that well in the first 45. I thought we were still in the match. But we came out in the second half playing the same way we did when we went in, despite not testing their goalkeeper for the first 45 minutes, and we're now a goal down. So I was a bit disappointed not to see changes at half-time. And it was just a bit flat in the second half. I thought we had a bit more possession. I thought we were on top. We were getting the crosses in, but they weren't very good, really. We just kept hitting the first man. Every time the ball went in, it just got cleared out a little bit. And it wasn't very exciting to watch either, was it? The Noble thing is, unfortunately, what's going to hit David Moyes over the head, really, tonight. And I don't want to go on about it all the time, but you do wonder if we would have had a better chance of starting Benrahma. I thought when Benrahma come on, I thought he looked reasonably lively. I think out of all the players that were involved tonight, he was the only one when he got the ball at his feet. Chelsea backed off. Bowen, Fornals, Souček, Noble, whenever they got the ball, Chelsea were happy to press us. They were happy to hassle, try and win possession back of us. But whenever Benrahma got it, they would take a couple of yards back and say, hang on a minute, this guy's going to skin me if I go near him. And he carried a threat. We set up with a sort of a counter-attacking team. That's okay. I accept that. I understand why we would try and counter-attack Chelsea away from home. But then we had no fast players in the team. Now, do you know those books you get? A Dummy's Guide to such and such. Do you know, A Dummy's Guide to How to Work a Computer. Step 1, turn it on, okay? A Dummy's Guide to Counter-Attacking Football, page 1, chapter 1, you're going to need pace. We've got no pace today. Our fastest player is probably Declan Rice in that starting 11, who plays defensive midfield. It was just a bit disappointing. I think if you're going to play Mark Noble in centre midfield and try and go 3 in that midfield, that's okay if they're sort of compensating for something that you're doing further up the pitch, which would be either Bowen going up front alongside Sebastian Haller, or you're starting Said Benrahma, and therefore you don't really want him doing the defensive aspect of the game. So I say, Said, you do a free roll tonight, let Mark Noble do the work in behind you. So, but we didn't do that. We continued to have Fornals on the left and Bowen on the right, 2 hard-working players. We didn't need that body. This is Chelsea, they're good on paper. They've got excellent players, world-class players, better players than West Ham. But they haven't been turning up all season, some of those players. Werner hasn't turned up all season. Didn't turn up tonight, really. They sum it up, his assist for Abraham's goal was a scuffed and crap shot. That was his assist. I just felt we gave Chelsea far too much respect before the ball was kicked. At the start of Premier League games now, the players take the knee for a political stance, well, we might as well take the knee for the 90 minutes for Chelsea because we bowed down to them for the whole game. And it's just disappointing. I thought we've got a bit more about us than that. I thought we've got a bit more of a spine than that. Didn't really threaten Chelsea. Like I said, we kept putting the crosses in, but they're not very good. One thing I was disappointed by tonight also is Sufal taking the free kicks, because I thought his crossing was excellent against Crystal Palace, no doubt about that. But tonight it was back to average crosses. But it's not so much him taking the free kicks, it's who isn't taking the free kicks. And that's Aaron Creswell. He's been top of the stats, or near the top of the stats, for chances created through set plays. So we've got one of the best set piece takers in the league this season, standing there being a dummy for someone who's been whacking in average crosses all season, to take them and whack in average crosses for the whole game. One of our dangers all season has been set pieces. It come up during the game that Chelsea have got 9 goals from set plays. We've got 8. Their 9th one was against us tonight. We didn't test them from any set pieces tonight. The crosses were poor. It's just a bit disappointing. We can afford to have disappointing games, but I'd rather have a disappointing performance when going for the win. I don't like to see a disappointing performance when playing for a point. It's just a bit of an unnecessary setup from us tonight. We've taken a square peg inside Benrahma out the team and put in a round peg of Mark Noble, but you'd expect to put that round peg in the round hole, but we didn't. We tried to squeeze it into the square hole, and it didn't work at all. The one other thing that was frustrating tonight, I spoke to Charlie, I joined Charlie in a watch along at half time, and the one thing I was saying is frustrating tonight is away from Stamford Bridge. Actually, you're allowed 9 subs on the bench now, and we've had to name 2 goalkeepers and 4 defenders because our squad is that thin. However, our under-23s are self-isolating at the minute because there's been a COVID outbreak in our under-23s. But knowing that we have this busy festive period coming up, knowing we don't have many senior first-team players, at the start of December, why have we not gone in there and picked out 3 or 4 under-23s and said that's the 4 players that might be able to make it in the first team? We should have had them out the under-23s at the start of December, training with the first team already, so that come this busy spell, they're used to the first team. They've been training with the first team for 2 or 3 weeks. They're now involved in all the training, the setup, the formation, the tactics. So they're ready to go. Therefore, tonight, our bench we wouldn't have needed 2 goalkeepers. It wouldn't have to be unbalanced with 4 defenders on there. David Moyes has got his one hand behind his back tonight, really, because he's only got 2 attacking players on that bench. 2 goalkeepers. It's almost taking a piss a little bit out of the younger players at the football club. Say, sorry, you can't come on the bench. We're going to have a goalkeeper instead of you. And like I said, I'm aware there's a COVID outbreak, but we should have prepared for this, regardless of COVID, for the busy spell. You look along the Premier League at the minute. Aston Villa started Adam Ramsey a couple of weeks ago. Wolves tonight started their youngster in the middle of the park. I don't know his name, Otawawi or something like that. There's other Premier League clubs out there starting 18 and 19-year-olds this month. We're the only club not doing well. We're not the only club, because someone will go and find 2 or 3 Premier League clubs that have not done it. But those clubs that haven't done it don't need to, because they have a big enough squad. Liverpool are playing teenagers in the Champions League. It's just a bit frustrating, really. It's a lost opportunity tonight, and for a valuable experience from a youngster that's coming through at West Ham to be on the bench. And at 3-0 down, as soon as it went 3-0 down, David Moyes should have taken off 2 of his key players. Declan Rice, Ogbonna, come off the pitch. The game's over. It's lost. We've lost tonight. There's no coming back from 3-0 away to Chelsea. Get you 2 off and get the youngsters on there. Or even Diop. Put Diop on there in an 18-year-old. There's no point putting Snodgrass in there. We know what he can do. Get the 18, 19, 20-year-old in there and let's see what he can do. Give him 20 minutes at Stamford Bridge. What a night that would be. And then there'd almost be a small victory in there, because there wasn't any small victories tonight. Sometimes in a defeat, there's positives to take. And listen, it wasn't the worst defeat in the world. We didn't play that bad. 3-0 probably flatters Chelsea, to be honest with you. It come down to poor marking from a corner, lack of ambition from us. And then at the end, we just gave up a little bit. We got sucker punched for the second goal, and the third one came quickly after. We'd given up. But anyway, away to Chelsea is not going to define our season. But it's games like this that when you come May, if you miss out on if you miss out on Europa League by a point, you might look back at nights like this and think, if only we went for it. If only we had a little bit of bollocks about us. Because tonight we didn't really show any. The players didn't really put up much fight. It wasn't a tasty game, was it? There was no bookings tonight. There wasn't any knitting grit about it. I think it was two teams that were quite happy to get through the game without any injuries or suspensions and stuff. And a disappointing one. A bad day at the office and a mistake by the manager, including Mark Noble. But I get what he was trying to do. I get the plan, but it wasn't very well executed. So disappointing is the word. No anger. I'm not angry. A bit frustrated, but that's all it is. Anyway, Gonzo will be back with you tomorrow. Drop a like if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. And I shall see you shortly.